Hello and welcome to the Media Box. I'm Ian. Today we'll be looking at the only game I'm aware of that you can catch evil monkeys wearing helmets during the Ice Age. This game, of course, is Ape Escape for the PlayStation 1. Ape Escape is an adventure platforming game where you use different gadgets to capture evil monkeys, given intelligence thanks to the helmets they wear. A quirky little title with a lot of fun held behind it. So without further ado, let's dive right into Ape Escape. The game begins with our main character Spike being sent back in time by a time machine created by the Professor that was taken over by the evil monkey overlord Spectre. Once a cute monkey from the zoo, he was given intelligence by a helmet called the Peak Point Helmet, which gave him super intelligence but at the cost of twisting his mind into evil intents of changing history so that apes would rule instead of humans. He does this by giving peak point helmets to all the monkeys in his zoo and sending them back in time, Spike included.
It works. It actually works. We did it, Natalie. We did it. The time station is complete.
We don't have time for celebrating. We've got to do something.
The Professor tasks Spike with stopping the monkeys from changing history and taking over the world. To do this, he begins with two gadgets, the Time Net, which captures the monkeys and sends them back to the present, and the Stun Rod, which does exactly what it says, stuns the monkey long enough to be caught. Spike must travel through the prehistoric time all the way to the present, catching monkeys all along the way. The game itself is typical PS1 fare with its appearance. The game looks pretty nice for the tech available at the time, though it's a lot of polygons and edges for the characters and most of the environment due to the limitations of the PS1. There is some texture clipping, especially when you're spinning the camera around trying to orientate yourself. All the different time periods you visit are very distinct and have a lot going for them. My personal favorites are the Ice Age and the Modern Age, as these both look very well done and are overall the most enjoyable as a whole. These two ages encompass the best the game has as a whole in terms of level design, appearance, and the variation in the different levels contained within them. The soundtrack holds strong with the game and delivers very atmospheric and catchy tunes for each level you go through. They deliver the aesthetic and mood of the level in a very smooth and digestible way, giving you an idea what it's going to be about before it actually starts, making the soundtrack very strong in tandem with the game itself. The tunes are very memorable, and I enjoyed listening to the tracks that just kept me wanting more of the levels, to keep going and see what else the game had in store for me. Another little thing to mention is when you're crawling around throughout the levels, the bass to the song cuts out, and the overall volume gets much lower. Very nice touch, as it just makes it that much better and that much more atmospheric. The gameplay isn't anything too difficult, but it is pretty darn rewarding and it is a lot of fun. You have an array of gadgets that you get throughout the game, beginning with the simple time net and a stun rod to catch the first couple monkeys. Then you get a little handheld submersible with a built-in net launcher so you can catch those pesky swimmers. Then you get the monkey radar, which comes in very handy as you get into the larger and larger levels, as it shows you what direction the monkeys are, as well as a focus on individual monkeys, giving a small description of their stats, and a little fun fact about the monkey in particular. You also get a slingshot, useful for stunning monkeys at range, knock them down from high up places you can't reach normally, and destroy the UFOs that the monkeys commandeer to evade and destroy you. You also get the super hoop, a hula hoop which gives you super speed by spinning it around your stomach. If only every hula hoop did that, we'd be much better off as a whole. Then you get a glorified oar, which is what it looks like, but it's a propeller called the Skyflyer, which lets you get to new heights and get across larger gaps between platforms. It makes the platforming a whole lot easier, and it allows you to make some mistakes while still being able to recover from it. Sometimes, that is anyway. You'll find a lot of times where you just fall and plummet to your doom. The last gadget you get is a little RC car, which you can use to lure monkeys out of places you can't normally get to because you're just too large. The only way to catch the monkey is with either your time net or the net shot from your flotation device. All the other tools are only used to incapacitate or reach the monkeys, and each tool has its unique use and are useful throughout the entire game, especially the Sky Flyer and Super Hoop, as these allow you to get around levels faster and reach places you wouldn't have been able to in past levels. Each level is the same in that you must capture a set amount of monkeys out of the total amount on the level. There are 3 levels per time period in the game, for a total of 6 areas, excluding the final area and the Dimension X area, which are where you have races with your rival / friend turned evil, Jake. This means there are 22 full levels altogether, including the final area in the game, which is larger than every level in scope and is broken down into several parts. So, after you've captured enough monkeys to advance through the levels, you reach a large television broadcast tower where you must defeat Spectre's hovercraft / time machine, but before you can destroy it for good, he escapes to his final fortress, Spectreland. It's here where your final showdown takes place. You must brave a roller coaster bent on murdering you to find the professor's rude assistant, Natalie. You must also outsmart some monkeys hiding in coffins to lower her cage. After you've done that, you have to climb up a huge cage and defeat a demented clown not only once, but twice to save the professor. And after getting a strong pep talk from him about how you've been able to do this all along, you can do it, I believe in you, Spike, you continue on and face off against your old friend turned rival, Jake. His mind, as you learned earlier, has been corrupted by Spectre, and after he tries to run you over with a race car and you wreck the hunk of junk, he's finally free from the spell he was under. He encourages you to end this entire thing, and you move towards the final fight with Spectre, which technically he invites you to. Did I forget to mention that this entire thing takes place on the huge castle which he launches into space? I don't think I did. You have to do a lot of platforming and catch a few monkeys, but soon enough you're inside the flying, crazy monkeys fortress, where you have to fight through monkey after monkey, trying to get to the center chamber where you'll find the evil overlord of all of this monkey business. This area of the game is probably the best designed as a whole. The whole spaceship aesthetic of the ship is done wonderfully, and the music playing delivers just the right amount of hype and excitement to accent the level perfectly. The monkeys also have special suits for this final area, being dressed up like glorious space cosmonauts. Look at them. Look at those space-age suits, dang it. Overall, this one takes the cake, and I purposely neglected to mention it earlier so I could discuss it here. It pulls out all of the stops, making you utilize all of your gadgets to progress from one area to the next, and to catch the high amount of monkeys in the area. There's also plenty of larger enemies that take some more challenge to defeat, be they flying robots or walking mechs manned by monkeys, and they do very well to break up the action and platforming of the level. If the whole game was designed similar to this grand finale, there is no doubt that this game would have been revered in the highest regard for a long, long time. But this level does just well enough. After going through this beautiful level, you reach the heart of the fortress, where Spectre is waiting for you to settle everything right here, right now. He offers you a chance to serve him and to have power, but you, being the gracious, amazing hero you are, decline that offer and swear to defeat him. He climbs into a huge monkey mech, which doesn't move, which kinda makes it really, really easy to be hit, and begins an onslaught of missiles, lasers, and ground pounds that destroy the terrain. Honestly, the boss fight itself is fairly weak. It's very easy to dodge most everything Spectre throws at you, and after that you take a free hit when his shield is down. Granted, it does get harder as it goes on, but overall, it's a fairly simple fight. After defeating Spectre, you don't really defeat him. He uses his peak point helmet to escape, but Spike and gang take this as a victory and celebrate. In conclusion, Ape Escape is wonderful. It's a great platformer and kept my attention and kept me wanting more the whole time. One of my biggest gripes are the silly little mini games that have pretty poor controls, but the actual core game is a gem on the PS1 that everyone should definitely play. Catching the monkeys is satisfying, and the level design and platforming are top notch. Ape Escape holds its place as a wonderful 3D platformer, and I'll probably come back to this one to complete it 100%. Ape Escape gets a 9 out of 10. I'm Ian with the Media Box, and I'll see you next time.